Welcome to Level 1 Restoration Behind the Scenes. We have here today a nearly finished project. We have about a week left of just tweaking on this car. We got some adjustments here and there to make on it. And this is a 1967 GTO. Obviously it's a convertible 4-speed Ram Air. So that's the big piece of this car here. Out of 81,067 GTOs made, they made just 56 Ram Air convertibles. They made 751 total Ram Air cars. And then I don't have right off the top of my head, maybe someone can comment with the breakdown between 4-speed and automatic on the Ram Airs. But I would expect it's probably a few more stick shifts than automatics. But so this is a really cool car here. There's approximately 10, maybe 12 Ram Air 67 GTO convertibles known to exist. And this one had a pretty good life. It spent some time here in Colorado. It went to Chicago. It actually was brought up out of Costa Rica with the owner down there, and my customers, the Brothers Collection, bought this car a couple of years ago. So it came straight to us. It looked, you know, if it just drove by, it would look like it looks right now, but we've done a tremendous amount of work to it since then. The paint was starting to fail in several areas, so we ended up taking it all the way down and redoing the paint, put the factory stripe back on it. We did a couple of upholstery things. All the suspension we did. The engine ran good. Everything functioned there. We had to source and install a factory rear end in this car. So another piece of cool information, all 1967 GTOs with Ram Air had a 433 positive traction rear end. Actually, starting in 66, and they carried that through 1968. So if you checked Ram Air, you automatically got a 433 gear. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So this is, you know, obviously a very special car, and we're excited to get it back to the Brothers Collection. A fun little piece about this, the wheels. So if you didn't pay anything extra for a wheel cover or a Rally wheel, you could get the Rally 1 and the Rally 2 in 1967. You would get the no-charge wheel cover, which are called poverty caps or dog dish hubcaps or whatever. Interesting fact about steel wheels and poverty hubcaps is that if they had 15 colors, roughly, I'm not sure exactly how many colors you could get in 67, but I think it's about 15 colors. They only had approximately 5 wheel colors. So a lot of the colors, the wheel would be black with the poverty wheel cap, but on green and blue and gold, they would be one color, regardless of which blue. They had one blue they used for the wheels. And there's multiple golds. So you could get a Tiger Gold 67 GTO, this gold, which the name escapes me, I apologize. And I believe there's one other shade in this area. Well, what's really a mystery is that the wheels on this car, it's a color called Ramada Bronze. And we had a heck of a time figuring out what in the world this color was. It showed up nowhere on the paint books that I had anyway. And I had a guy, his name's Mike Noun, he's a Pontiac historian, he's out there, he's got a little business and all that. He's a really cool guy, very knowledgeable. He's the one who told me that the wheel color on a gold car would be Ramada Bronze. Well, that was great, I'm glad I had the color, but it took me a while to figure out where to get a sample of that color. I literally bought a wheel online from someone that still had original paint on it, and we mixed it to match that wheel, and we painted our wheels, problem solved. Well, you'll hear from this car in a later, maybe this year or early next year. We have a 66 GTO Ram Air hardtop that we're restoring, and that whole car is Ramada Bronze, and it turns out that color was a special color for 1966 that came partway through the year. They introduced some extra colors, and that was that color, and I had never seen it before. And anyway, that's the wheel color they used in 67 for the wheels. So really crazy, but it took us a lot to figure out just that wheel color. But anyway, the rest of the car is really pretty straightforward. It's buckets, console, it has a clock, it has a wood wheel. The big thing, of course, is the engine, and the rest of it is pretty normal 67 GTO, neat stuff. These cars have a beautiful interior. They're just awesome, awesome cars. One of my favorite cars. Another neat thing that I'd like to point out to people who love 67 GTOs or just interested in car stuff, the stripe is pretty interesting on these cars. So unless you elected not to have a stripe, which was a no-cost option, you would get this double pinstripe. And in my research and photographing original cars, every time I see one, I take a lot of picture of the stripes. There were 3 different stripe variations on these cars. So the biggest difference in it was the spacing between the big stripe and the little stripe. There was a wider spacing one than this. This is the middle space, and then there was one that was a little smaller spacing, and that is what got copied for stripe tape. So if you went to the paint store and you could buy this stripe, and that's what a lot of people do, and I encourage people to at least put stripe tape on your car. Of course, it was painted from the factory with a bugler wheel, but these cars really look incomplete without their stripe. It really helps with the shape of the car and how it flows. It's not that big of a deal. You can just lay down a large baseline for it and then put that stripe tape down. Of course, these are all, like I said, painted. These were hand painted. I have used a bugler wheel on 66 GTOs to put a single stripe down, which is pretty cool. I don't have a double stripe tool that I could have 2 different sizes and all that. But anyway, a neat part about 67 GTOs, which I encourage everybody with a 67 GTO to put your stripe back on, because it's supposed to be on there and it looks good. But anyway, enjoy looking at this beautiful car. And if you ever want to see this car in person, you could make arrangements out at the Brothers Collection in Salem, Oregon, and have a look at it and 360 other awesome cars out there. Wonderful people, and we just enjoy bringing this car of theirs to you about a week before it gets shipped out there. Thanks for watching Level 1 Restoration Behind the Scenes. We appreciate your comments and likes and subscribes and all that stuff. We really do appreciate it.